Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Shout out to all the subscribers and thanks a lot to anybody new locked in. Welcome along. Let's talk about Ben Davison, because I think personally he's still a little bit underrated and doesn't quite get the credit he deserves, although slowly but surely he's coming a long way from boxer-sized Ben. I know people, I don't know why people used to call him that. It used to really drive me nuts just because it's so wrong. And I think people probably just jumped on the bandwagon and started calling him that. And whoever started that, unfortunately, doesn't know anything about boxing, because I'll go into some details as to why I think he's really really good trainer. And I think the best is still yet to come. He's still quite young. What is he, 30? Something like that? I'll find out and I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong, but he's around there. But already, you know, so many things he's achieved in terms of world title wins, you know, I would say helping transform fighters. And now, you know, he's got this new AJ position, and look, he looks like he's going to get the best out of AJ. I'll talk more on that later. But what he does for me is, look, he really cares about his fighters a lot. And he does the extra stuff, okay? He's very analytical, as we know this. He really knows the sport well. But he also, you know, pushes his skills to the limit by, for example, when you are training somebody in the gym, I see trainers every week in the gym, okay? I know how hard they work. They have, you know, constant clients all day. And if you've probably got more, you know, higher up clients like AJ, you're spending more time with them. They're in the gym all day. So the only time to do the analytical stuff is after all that, at home probably, right? A couple of hours. You got to know what you're looking for, but putting the time in. A lot of trainers, I know Ben Davison fired shots at a lot of them in the UK and said they're lazy. Well, that's one of the things you can be lazy. And obviously there are, you know, some trainers are lazy, they are, but the analytic stuff is the extra stuff. And that's actually really important, and not just getting the analytics, breaking it down, translating it to your fighters, working on it in the gym, and then implementing it and having it come to fruition fight night, which he's done several times. From, you know, just recently with Fabio Wardley, where they knew pushing Adelaide on the back foot and being more aggressive would be making more uncomfortable for Adelaide. You could tell, and they worked on that. Wardley worked to his strengths, and you know, Ben Davison was like, yeah, you know, we thought it's exactly how it planned out. We just thought it might come a little bit earlier. But that's unbelievable preparation, knowing what you're looking at and watching other fighters and seeing where you can take advantage of them. You know, and, you know, his post-fight interviews, you know, if you think he's arrogant or smug, he's just very confident. There's a line, you know, he doesn't take much credit. And this is like why, like, you should watch some of his post-fight interviews. If you're not believing in me, you believe in what I'm saying, go and watch an interview with Ben Davison after a fight. I know the Vidal Sassoon thing where he does like the hair. I get that, it's quite funny. He just takes it all in his stride. Anyone watching this in America, Vidal Sassoon was like a shampoo commercial, which is quite funny. But, you know, obviously he's got an unusual haircut, and I think people make fun of him for that. But as I said, he just shoulder rolls it. And he just keeps going. But I think he generally is just very confident, and I really respect that. And he loves his fighters, you know, and he really gets them prepared. You know, the situation with Lee Wood, the corner stoppage in the first fight, the preparation was going great against Lara. Just outbox him, use your length, stab, jab, move, and don't get caught up in any exchanges. And Lee Wood was the one that, you know, dropped the ball a little bit and got caught up in an exchange. The fight was over. But he could have quite easily blamed Ben Davison. A lot of fighters would have blamed the trainer, especially after the corner stoppage, and moved on. But they stuck together because obviously Lee Wood has got character, but it's the work that they put in together and the belief. And I know Josh Taylor left Davison, but he also left Shane McGuigan too. Sometimes it's the fighter, you know, but the trainer usually gets the blame. It's funny because it reminds me of like when Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion under Ben Davison, It's like a music producer that makes a really tremendous beat for either an artist or a rapper, and they never get mentioned. But that's a big part of the process, you know. Ben Davison is that. I don't think he really wants the stage or the limelight. Like, people think he's super arrogant. He's just very confident. And I know after taking those shots at trainers, he was telling the truth, you know. That's all he was. But I think that played a bit of a part in his backlash. But with his new role with AJ, it's going to be really interesting, and I think the best is yet to come from this guy, because he's very dedicated and he really cares. He's passionate, he knows what he's looking at, and he understands how to communicate too with his fighters, okay, and get the best out of them, like he's doing now with AJ. And I've mentioned this before, where it's just a less is more approach. He's not trying to make a fighter fight in, well, he wanted AJ, he's like, what did his comments say? You're a big unit, you should be knocking people out. He's just getting the identity of them and not messing with it too much, and just letting them be. Less is more, and getting them confidence to be who they are, you know. And Derek James was doing that a little bit, but if you think about it, when Derek James came in, I thought it was a good fit, to be honest with you. And I think that work that AJ's done with Derek James won't be, you know, of any waste whatsoever, because if he does need to go back on the back foot or just keep it safe, keep it long, jab, guess what? He's already got about, 6 months to a year under one of the best trainers of teaching that he knows now. So it's another string to the bow. But if you watch AJ when he's fighting, when he's like this, it's just not comfortable. It's just not relaxed, and it's not himself, because he's almost thinking too much to try to do that style. Where, you know, AJ, you can't overwhelm him with too much information, man. His computer processor will overload. And you know that little orange rainbow from the Mac, if you got a Mac, that's when it freezes. That's what AJ looks like he's on the verge of doing when he's doing too many things. When he's just there and he's just being himself, coming forward and being loose. He wants to be a slick boxer. We've heard this so many times. You know, whether he should be or not is another question, but Ben Davison's given him a new lease of life, and because he understands how to communicate. Then he's had Devin Haney in the past. The Haneys, look, obviously Bill Haney's a shady dude, but they know their boxing. They would not, and Bill Haney would not let his son train with anybody. You know, they know what they're looking at, and they've obviously been there and had sessions with him and be like, yeah, we trust you with our son. This is Devin Haney, another undisputed champion. One of the better fighters in the world right now. Ben Davison's still part of that. I know he was in charge of the Jojo Diaz fight and Linares as well, I think. Look, he's been part of the development of one of the better fighters again. So this is, you know, not to mention the Fury situation where he helped Fury lose weight. Now, Fury should take most of the credit for that, for sure. But Ben Davison was brought in. And, you know, again, I don't know what he did. He certainly helped, and he's not to people with their ego. This is the thing, people with egos and dogmatic approaches will just be, do it my way and that's it. It doesn't seem like Ben Davison's that way. He takes a backwards seat, but whilst, you know, giving the right information and doing his part by watching film, studying, being a boxing geek. He's a boxing geek, and I love it. I love that film stuff, you know, because I'm a bit of a boxing geek, but obviously on a massively low level. And just in terms of, I like that stuff. I don't implement it like he does. I'm not comparing me at all. I'm just saying I like the film study stuff. I like the why and when and where, and I like Ben Davison's in tune with on social media as well. Now, you could also say that if you're not on social media these days, you could be missing out. I get a lot of my information from social media, from watching posts, from trainers, from pad work, from everywhere. And if you're one of these, oh, I'm not doing that, it's not me, blah blah, that's fine. You're gonna be missing out on information that's being shared around the world. You know, that's the beauty of it. So Ben Davison's does that because I follow him, and I see who he likes and what's he, you know, little things like that. He's in there because he cares and he wants to be the best he can bring, so he can bring it to his fighters. So the best is yet to come. I've been rambling a little bit. Let me know what you think of Ben Davison. If you still think he's a boxer-sized Ben, you really don't know anything about the sport. And if somebody said that in the beginning, they really don't know anything about the sport. So, but yeah. Shout out to you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. If you like the video, if you did like the video, hit the like button. It's got to come from here every single time. I'm out.